G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. With that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie, and let's get right into it. Posted by a throwaway account titled, "Would I be the asshole if I go on a vacation with my mum instead of attending my father's wedding?" So my 26 male, parents, 44 female, and 45 male have been high school sweethearts. My mum got pregnant straight out of high school. My mom has always supported my dad through everything. She worked double shifts so that dad can start a business and earn a significant amount of money. She never splurged on luxury goods, and even after my dad started his successful business, my mom saved and encouraged him to invest more in his business. And how does my lovely dad decide to thank her? He screws a woman who is only 1 year older than I am. They have been divorced for 3 years, and my dad publicly started dating his mistress without any shame. My siblings have a sort of strained relationship with him. I never talk to him after the divorce. I hate to acknowledge his existence, and hate it even more that he seems to think that he did nothing wrong. He's getting married to his mistress in 10 days. I can tell Mom is still hurt by the divorce. She's going to Romania, where her parents were born. She always insisted that my dad take her there, but since my dad was busy cheating on her, he just never took her. I also wanted to go with her because I need an excuse to avoid the wedding altogether. My siblings told me that if I don't attend the wedding, they wouldn't go as well. My dad has been on my neck and trying to guilt trip me into attending his wedding, but I already booked the tickets to Romania. My relatives are saying that if I don't go, I will be disrespecting my dad. I don't think that he deserves an ounce of respect from me. Plus, I'm pretty sure their marriage wouldn't last more than 2 years, considering how much she spends just to show off. I would rather be with my mom. Well, if that's the case, I don't see how you could be an asshole here. Your dad cheated, your siblings are not on his side, but your extended family seems to be. Screw them. They saw this entire thing transpiring, and yet they're still on his side. They're probably not people that you should be taking advice from or associating with, in all honesty. I say stick to your guns, and going to Romania is absolutely fine. Not the asshole for this position that you're sticking to. In the comments, Shanghai Rolls says, "Go with your mum. If anyone did any disrespecting, it was your dad by having an affair. Although if you still want to have a good relationship with your dad, then you'd better think it through and discuss it with your siblings." How these people have the audacity to overlook how disrespectful the dad is beyond me. They seem happy giving their opinions to OP about what is disrespectful, but not to their shameful relative. Oh my god, go to Romania with your mum. Your dad sounds like an absolute piece of shit. You don't owe him anything after what he did. Support your mum, be there for her. Don't listen to his flying monkeys, they can F off. Have fun in Romania. Yeah, support your mum and go to Romania. You're right, your dad doesn't deserve much respect, at least right now. Marrying someone essentially the same age as his kid should have consequences. Not the asshole. An asshole would show up at a wedding they do not approve of. She is in your age group. She should be dating one of you or your buddies, not your dad. Have a great trip with your mom and explore your heritage. Respect is earned, and your father doesn't deserve your respect. A wedding invitation is not a summons, and you have every right to say no. Good for you for supporting your mum during this. Perhaps after your vacation, you and all your siblings could do something together with your mum as well. You could always just tell your dad that you'll go to wedding number 5. Back up to the post, we have an edit. "Thank you, people. I see that most people think that I'm not doing anything wrong. I am packing my bags for Romania. I was very skeptical. I wanted people to guide me if I was doing wrong. Thanks to those people, I am even stronger in my decision. I appreciate your feedback." And now, onto the update. My post was removed by Reddit for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know if they'll allow me to post an update, but it's worth a shot. So I am in Romania with my mum and girlfriend. Just landed 36 hours ago. My dad's wedding is cancelled. According to my siblings, my dad wanted his girlfriend to sign a prenup. She refused. It turned into a huge fight between him and her. They fought in the rehearsal dinner too. He decided to postpone the wedding until the matter is solved. I don't think this wedding will ever happen. I'm glad he is learning the truth of his value. I haven't told my mum yet. She seems happy here, so I don't want to ruin that. I might tell her today at dinner. My siblings are fine, I just wish I could have taken them with us. Also, to those people who defended my cheating father and told me that it's not my business, I hope each and every one of you suffer from what my mum, my siblings, and I went through. It wasn't easy. He betrayed not just my mum, but all of our family. He was a selfish old man who wanted his cake and to eat it too. I am 100% allowed to be mad at him for destroying our family, for his dick, destroying my mum, and her self-esteem like that. And those who are calling me a mama's boy, I hope your mum sees this and thinks what kind of unappreciative child she gave birth to. I love my mum. She gave birth to me and took care of me when I wasn't able to do that. Now it is my turn to support her. Adios. In the comments, Glitter Doomsday says, "That will sound mean, but if he thinks he'll get a younger wife that was cool being the side piece by pushing prenups, he's in for a rude awakening." It's like it never occurs to some of these old dudes that their much younger partners are only with them for money. The only ones who seem to realize it are the guys with sugar babies. Both parties recognize that it's a transactional relationship. Exactly right. That's the only reason she agreed to marry the old fart. Now he realizes that he's nothing but an ATM for her, and without her access to his money, he's no good for anything else. Karma came back and bit him on the butt. Have a great vacation, and your mum is lucky to have her children's support. Dude, those that are defending your adulterous father are also so weird. So glad you guys decided to go with your mother and show her support. OP replies, "They are still sucking him off and wishing him well, as if he's some kind of a saint. I just found one in this comment section. He's been the same scummy, cheating dad since the last post." The comment says, "I do wonder how close to the wedding the dad brought up the prenup." Great point. I'm guessing the night before? I cackled when I read the reason the wedding was called off. Terrible takes by commenters, who seemingly have no idea what human relationships are like. Of course, the kids, adult or otherwise, were impacted by this and have valid personal reasons to hate this cheating son of a bee. Glad OP chose their mum. It's completely the right thing to do. There was a user who made the second negative comment that has been harassing OP and said some awful misogynistic things about his mum. Like, whenever a man leaves a boring old hag for a hot new thing, it is always an upgrade. Thank God his comments were removed. He was constantly harassing OP and his mum. Presumably that username was chosen because that's what he was hit by as a child and caused his brain damage. I mean, having a negative karma comment against OP is not unusual, but the way this guy was doubling down to supporting the dad and criticizing OP's mom, I started to think this guy is OP's dad. Or did the same as OP's dad and is living with the consequences. Ding ding ding. One of the things that have surprised me is how little reasoning people put into their morality and how willing they are to flip it to make them feel better about their actions. Well, what can you say about that? Feel like that's a pretty spot-on comment right there. Friendly reminder to you guys, don't go cheating on your wife that has been there with you all this time for someone much younger. That ain't cool. Anyway, I'd love to know what you guys think of this one down in the comments below. Let me know. Our next post is by user BeneficialDeal6849, titled, "Am I the asshole for not correcting my mother with dementias, racist and homophobic remarks towards my partner?" So my, 28, mother, 66, suffers from dementia. I warned my partner, 29, that she has no filter and is extremely racist and homophobic, which are all the reasons why I've not introduced them to my mum. I have personally learned to accept the behavior, as trying to argue, rationalize, and/or correct non-physically harmful behavior is just not worth it. She will apologize and then forget 5 minutes later, so I've just learned to live with it. Her doctors are also in agreement that it is wasted effort to try and correct such behavior. Though my partner insisted on meeting her, I once again explained why I am against it, but they were dead set on meeting my mum. So we went to meet her, and my mum did what my mum does. My partner was crying and got upset with me because I didn't even try to defend and correct her. I explained that it was a waste of time, and I told you all of this beforehand. They did not expect it to be so scathing. I said my mum does have a sharp tongue. My partner continued to question my actions for tolerating such behavior. I simply replied that she's my mum who is sick. Then I started to make jokes about it, and this upset them greatly. I just left it as if I do not laugh, I will cry. They kept trying to harp on it, calling me a failure of a partner to allow such things to fly. I tried to tell them that I explained all of this beforehand, yet you still insisted. You think that I really was going to go through the effort to try and correct the actions of someone that barely knows who they are half the time? I told them I already tried to fight that war for years early on in this journey, and it was just too painful. I had a choice to make, learn to accept it or never see my mum again. I love my mum, so I picked the latter. I thought that this was the end of it, but it happened to come up again at a dinner that we had with some friends. Pretty much everyone at the table called me, and quote, the worst type of person, simply because I did not think that it was worth the effort to try to correct the behavior. One even said that I should disown my mother. I left after that. So am I the asshole for not correcting the behavior, and for downplaying the seriousness of the issue? Did I overreact when I left the dinner? Should I have done more to protect the feelings of my partner? This is a genuinely impossible situation for you, but I feel as though you've made all the right choices, you took all the precautions necessary to pad the damage from a situation like this, and I don't think you've done anything wrong here. Your partner knew exactly what they were signing up for. They knew that you were extremely hesitant and why you were so scared about it because you couldn't control this, because doctors had told you to give up, yet your partner decides to throw themselves into this anyway. I don't know why your partner wasn't expecting the leopard to eat their face when you said, look, the leopard in there is dangerous, there's nothing we can do about it, and if you go in there, the leopard will eat your face. God, I'm just so upset at you, OP, for not doing anything to stop the leopard from eating my face. How dare you not correct the leopard's behavior? Like, yes, I absolutely agree with your friends and I agree with your partner that her actions and her behaviors are completely unacceptable. But unfortunately with dementia, there's nothing you can do about it. That person is disappearing before your eyes. It's tragic enough that they're pretty much already gone, but to ask OP to completely abandon their mother while this is going on and just disown her, I feel like that is incredibly selfish and damaging. I don't know how many people could make the choice opposite of what OP did and maintain that choice. Human emotions are hard. Anyway, my vote is not the asshole. Now in the comments, TR Isidin says, a lot of people don't understand what it's like to have a loved one with dementia. There is absolutely nothing you can do, and it generally only gets worse over time. You did your best to explain to your partner, and they chose not to heed your warning. Everything that happened as soon as they opened that door is on them, not you. Dementia sucks. I'm sorry your partner doesn't understand this. Maybe there is a dementia not-for-profit they can go to for some educational sessions. So true. This is what I would like to say to your partner. OP is going through hell, and if you can't understand this and support them, walk away now. Dementia is the constant, ongoing piecemeal loss of the person that you love. The grief is constant. You learn to cope and accept, as OP is doing, but you can't just work through it, because there is always something new to mourn, some new change or decline, and there is nothing to hope for. No cure, no improvement, only the death of the person that you love so much. It may have hurt for you to hear what OP's mother said. Don't you think that it hurts OP too? OP isn't choosing to let someone abuse you. OP is coping with someone they love very much, whose illness makes her incapable of not being awful to the both of you. This isn't about you, OP's partner. Please step up and find some empathy for someone you supposedly care about who is going through a quiet, daily hell. DG Showgirl replies, you framed that so well. I just spent 2 weeks at home with Mum and visited my grandmother with Alzheimer's every single night. My 3-year-old has more compassion and understanding of disease process than OP's sorry excuse for a partner. Every night, my kid asked to come along with me. Every night, they answered the same 3 questions over and over and over. When later telling my dad/my husband about the visits, who couldn't come with, they say, it's so much fun. Mum brings chocolate and Nan keeps checking my name and birthday because she forgets when we tell her new things. She tells the same stories, but has really pretty flowers. Do you want us to send you photos? I'd be telling the partner that until they are willing to gain a basic understanding of this debilitating, fatal disease and are across leading treatment methods, which absolutely include don't argue or correct them, you will not be discussing this further. OP is not the asshole. And now, onto the update. Edit for a quick update to comment on some of the things that I've read. Before anything, I appreciate the kind words, advice, and stories. I know I am not alone in this, but it's still nice to hear it from others. Secondly, I understand the criticism behind my actions and inaction. I get the idea. I do not agree with it, but I get it. My mother is not going to remember. What is the harm about correcting her this one time to show support for my partner? I will say the same thing I told my partner. We can go home. Done. We can dust our hands of the interaction and be on our merry way. Problem is, this is not about how we may feel about what was said or how we feel we should go about it. Our feelings in situations such as these are largely moot. I have zero right to stir up the hornet's nest and then just to leave and let the staff handle the backlash. That shows complete disrespect and disregard for the staff, the other residents, and my mother. I can see the criticism to this comment. You care more about their feelings. To be honest, in this situation, yeah, because they are doing me the favor of caring for my mum. Sure, I pay for the care, but they treat her with respect and dignity. Why shit on that and make their jobs even harder because my partner wanted to play with fire? I have seen it personally far too many times when families would simply leave after their loved one got upset by something they did and could have avoided and let the staff deal with it. Their jobs are hard enough as is. I have no right to make shit harder and just leave. Leaving all of that aside, it is frickin' advised by most medical professionals, live in their moment. Correcting non-violent, especially verbal behavior, is simply not worth the effort and the potential complications about forcibly altering their reality in that moment. Dementia is often about maintaining comfort and safety. The fact some people on this sub willfully would ignore medical advice because it goes against what they feel is baffling to me. Racism is a learned behavior. You can have one set of views at one stage in your life and a vastly different one in another stage. Dementia does not care. It will draw information from whatever experience it wants. One day, my mum is living in a reality where she was working her way through college, babysitting and giving piano lessons. Others, she is a little girl hanging with her dad working on locks. He was a locksmith. Sometimes she thinks of me as my father who died when I was a child. It is all over the place. My mother was raised by racist Fs. And yeah, when she was younger, she bought into it too. That is all she knew and was exposed to. She told me the stories. It was only until she got older and was living on her own that she saw how hurtful and wrapped that ideology was. So no, my mum is not racist. Her comments are racist and homophobic, but she is not. For all those saying that she is, people change. The thing about dementia is that it changes people. For the record, I am mixed race, so trust me, early on it was rough for me to listen to the shit that my mum was saying. Now, this criticism I fully understand. I should not have joked about the situation, but humor is really all I got at this point to cope. What else could I have said? I told you so? Question why they willfully wanted to play with fire? If I didn't try to play it off with jokes, I would have said something that would have most definitely added vinegar and salt to an open wound. My joke was a means of trying to lighten the mood. I will be frank that in that moment, it was hard for me to have sympathy for my partner as for what was said to them, because I warned them countless times. I pleaded with them that it was not a good idea. I told them I appreciate the thought, but you don't have to. It is not worth it. They kept insisting, and I just caved. Should I have kept saying no? Probably, but even if I did, 100% they would still be insisting. In the end, I figured, hey, maybe they will be understanding and things would work out. Maybe my mum will see past it since they would be side by side with me. I was foolish and just came up with any idea I could to validate their desire to meet my mum. I forgot who it was, but I will stop using the phrase. She does not have a filter because it implies that she was always this way but knew to hide it. Even if that was not the intent, I appreciate it. I'm also going to save the stories from the comments as they warmed my heart. That is, before I leave this thread to hopefully fade into the ether of Am I the Asshole? Please try to see past black and white. Oftentimes things are not that simple. Life is complex, and to simply boil it down to person X is bad because of Y does not do anyone justice in situations such as these. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. I do hope you got something from this story. I do hope you can see where I was coming from with my viewpoint there. I did get a bit animated with it, but, that's just me. I hope you guys have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.